Forge, Chapter 49. I embarked on a campaign of honey and kindness, which, if you've never tried it, is very hard to do with someone who thinks you're chicken-hearted and has in the past called you a poxy sluggard. It is especially hard if every day you're plagued with fear about what might happen next. I had no chance to further talk with Ebenezer. A white soldier named Timothy Hubbard, who hailed from General Greene's hometown, became both wagon driver and errand runner for the inhabitants of Moore Hall. Timothy also led horses when a gentleman inspected troops or visited headquarters. I was every bit as caged as the kitchen parrot. Your business of the army moved at a faster pace than ever. New recruits arrived daily, needing huts, food, and weapons. A load of muskets smuggled from France arrived, but there was not enough wagons to transport them safely from the port to the camp, which made General Greene almost have an attack of the apoplexy. Late at night, after the junior clerks had been sent back to their huts and gentlemen lit their pipes and rested their feet upon the table, talk always turned to the upcoming campaign and different battle plans Washington had to choose from. When the gentlemen finally retired to their bedchambers, I opened the windows to let the smoke and sweat of the long day and consider the possibilities of my own spring campaign. I had to come up with a proper plan, one that would suit Isabel. The fastest way to town, big enough to hide in, was across Sullivan's Bridge in the middle of camp. And head east, but the bridge was guarded, as was the road that led south, and the road north from Moore Hall offered no place to hide and led deeper into the countryside, where strangers would be quickly noticed. I knew nothing of the land beyond land west beyond Mount Misery, so I dared not venture in that direction. As the month drew on and the days warmed, my humors fell out of balance and I became touchy and sour-minded. My efforts to appear the perfect servant to Bellingham and to be patient and kind with Isabel, whose humors were severely out of balance, all seemed fruitless. Isabel laughed at a few of my jokes, but she was just as likely to tell me I wasn't funny at all, and that I had a spot on my forehead. Bellingham snarled whenever I entered the room. I polished the boots wrong. I was clumsy. His tea was cold. I moved too fast. I moved too slow. My hair needed to be trimmed. My whiskers needed shaving. Once he lost his temper when Isabel and I were clearing the table, and I dropped a plate that shattered on the floor. He snatched Isabel's wrist and gave it a hard turn, causing her to cry out. The other gentleman froze, Mr. Morris, with his wineglass half to his lips. "Do you remember our conversation about these things?" Bellingham asked me. "Humble apologies, sir." I bowed deeply. "It shall not happen again." He released Isabel. "It had better not. Repair your manners and do your job, and for God's sakes, Curzon, shave your face." The rapid beard growth and bumps on my forehead were more evidence of imbalance of my humors. The bumps multiplied no matter how much vigor or vinegar I rubbed on them. I tried to shave myself with a razor Miss Cook found for me, but it's near impossible to shave your own face. Even for men who have been doing it for a score of years, I must have cut myself 40 times, and I had to resort to slicing up a rag and sticking bits of cloth all over my face, for the cuts would not stop bleeding. When I stepped in the kitchen to ask Mrs. Cook if she had any salve to take away the stinging, Isabel laughed so hard that the milk she'd been drinking had come out her nose. That night, I ate my supper alone on the back porch. The wind brought up the sound of drums beating at camp, which made me melancholy and angry, all rolled into one.